Assault generally means causing someone to fear immediate harm or threatening harmful contact. Battery means actually making harmful or offensive physical contact. When players participate in a sport with physical contact, they generally give implied consent to certain kinds of physical contact that are considered normal in that sport. E.g., tackling in football, checking in hockey. The more that contact deviates from what is reasonably expected in the sport, e.g., uses more force, happens off ball, or is outside the rules, the more likely it is that consent doesn't cover it. Whether the act is part of ordinary play, vs. an intentional or reckless wrongdoing. If it occurs during the course of play, in a way that is expected by rules, customary play, it's less likely to be criminal. If the act is deliberate, done with intent to injure, or reckless, i.e. the person knows there's a risk of harm and disregards it, then it's more likely to cross the line. Off-ball incidents, after the whistle, or in non-sporting locations, parking lot, locker room, etc., are more likely to be criminal. Pre-planned or especially violent conduct is more likely to be actionable. Did the player intend to harm, or foresee harm? Was the act intentional or just accidental, part of competitive play? Sometimes provocation, heat of the moment, self-defense might be considered. Injury severity, minor versus serious, matters. Causing serious bodily harm tends to make criminal charges more likely. Todd Bertuzzi. In 2004, a hockey player, Bertuzzi, was charged and pled guilty to assault causing bodily harm after a violent in-game attack. This was because the action clearly went beyond what was acceptable or reasonably expected. Civil lawsuits, tort claims have been made in sports when someone's conduct was outside the rules and so violent or reckless that it should not be covered merely by sporting discipline. Putting the above together, here are some of the situations in which legal consequences are more likely. The player intentionally commits a violent act not part of the normal play, for example a punch, elbow, or other attack when the play is off, or after the whistle. The action is reckless, knowing there's a high risk of injury, but continuing anyway. The act causes serious harm, broken bones, concussion, etc. The venue or timing is outside normal gameplay, e.g. after match, in dressing room, or off-field. The conduct violates rules in such a way that it is easily distinguishable from whatever happens in a game. By contrast, courts or prosecutors often don't charge when the contact is part of normal play, e.g., a tackle that's allowed, even if it causes injury. The contact, while aggressive, is within what reasonable participants in that sport expect and consent to. There's no clear intention to harm, no premeditation, and it happens in the heat of the moment. The incident is minor, with little or n. The governing bodies, referees, leagues already impose discipline, yellow, red cards, etc., and the act is not extremely beyond what's expected. If a prosecutor considered charging the player, they would need evidence like video footage showing the act. What exactly was done, was it outside the rules, was it off the ball, etc. Injuries and medical reports. The timing, was it during play, after whistle, etc. Witness testimony, including officials and possibly other players. Whether the act was intentional or reckless. Rulebooks, expectations of the sport in that jurisdiction.